My name is Zach, but I also go by the name of Raphael. You can find my music on Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, any platform that you use. Um,
Great. So we could start with what is your form of art? Or I hate to say genre because but like people like to put things in boxes, but like what would you
yeah.
say is the closest to what you do, and just so people can have an idea?
Well, for my music that's out right now, I would say it's close to it's definitely R&B, but it also has like a pop tinge to it with a alternative side. I Not too much alternative yet because I haven't put those out yet, but you know, alternative also has an acoustic vibe to it too because I love to sing with just instrumentals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um,
And what is your background in like music? You study, what did you study, or if you studied it, and like who are your influences basically?
okay. I guess the only correct way to answer this question is I'm gonna start from the bottom and then up.
Okay, all right, great.
So when I was younger, I moved to Philly when I was 5 or so, whatever, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I was at church, and I had a friend at church that played the drums. And I thought he was so cool when he was playing the drums. I was like, yo, I want to learn how to play drums. So so one day he wasn't here and nobody was there to play the drums. And I was just like, I'll do it. Like so then so
I
I
didn't
picked
know
up the
that. I didn't know you started with drums.
yeah.
That's probably why your rhythm is amazing and mine is trash.
What? Well, it's not even all there. I wouldn't even say
All right, continue,
that.
continue.
Anyways, I started out with the drums, and then as I got older, I still was kind of following him because like after the
Mm-hmm.
drums, he started playing trumpet, and I was like, I want to play that too. So I started playing the trumpet also, and then I just developed a love for singing also too because I was in the choir,
Mm-hmm.
and we sang a lot in the choir at church. So
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I did too. I did too.
hey, I didn't know that. I didn't know that
Yeah.
actually. Shoot. So after choir, I picked up the piano because I thought that looked cool too. That was around when I was in like 5th grade. And then afterwards, after I learned the piano and got it down, I was able to learn bass and guitar. I'm not really good at guitar yet, but I picked up the bass fairly well because it kind of does the same thing. Um,
Mm-hmm.
that is mostly it for the things that I play.
Yeah.
As
And
for
as for influences, go ahead.
as for influences, I'd say I started out with Haitian gospel music because that's all my parents would play in the car. There's a lot of compa in there. Um, what else is there? So gospel music too, like American gospel music too. I'd say also R&B and hip hop. When I actually developed a way, no, not developed, but when I actually got my first phone and was able to download music on it, because I wasn't a person when I was younger. I just listened to the music that was played around me. But when I finally got my phone and was able to get some music on it, like
Mm-hmm.
I went crazy. So it was mostly the pop music no, mostly the music that was popular at the time. It's like a lot of Kanye West, Rihanna, Drake, so on and so forth.
Yeah,
But
it
then
was like that first wave of like electronic devices that allowed you to like actually listen to people instead of just getting fed by what's on like the radio
the
and like
radio, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Um, and then I would say I got into being an artist when I started college. What would I say my influences were? There was a lot of people that I listened to because of how they coupled their music together with the instrumental and the lyrical content their flows, and everything in between too. Their whole aesthetic. I'd say people like I fell in love with Travis Scott. His old music. Oh my god, it was just it was crazy. It was a crazy time.
Uh-huh.
Um, who else? Drake is solidified goat. I don't care what nobody says about him. He's a legend.
You know what? I completely agree. Like
People try to
whatever
sleep on
you
that.
want to
Like
try, like whatever you're trying to say about him, like he's done some different things, and
stop
people just
saying,
don't want to
and
accept it. They just, yeah.
they don't. Not because
Mhm.
like I guess he's on a billboard for like forever.
Mhm.
And you know people are always gonna hate anyways, and he had that little scandal thing happening with
Mhm.
the whole writers thing, but you know everybody in the industry does that though. It's just how
Mhm.
you go about it. um who else for my influences? There's this person called James Fauntleroy. I don't know if you've heard of him,
Mm-mm.
but basically he is a writer. He's also an artist, but mostly a writer, and writes for people like Beyonce, Justin Timberlake, Drake, and you know so on and so forth. But the way this man writes his lyrics is so poetic and beautiful, and he also has a beautiful voice too. Like you guys should definitely check him out. Um, I say another person I would say is SZA. I'm gonna say SZA, man.
SZA, yeah.
SZA. That's all I'm gonna say.
You just like sigh. All right. I mean, that gives everyone kind of like a spectrum as to like, an idea about who influenced you, and
Mhm.
just when they listen to your music, it's just like introspective, and they're like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you listen to people and they talk about their influences, and then you're just like, you know what, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
feel
what
like
would you say? Yeah, go ahead. What you feel
no,
like?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just gonna say I have other influences too, but I just can't think of them right now. But they change over time. Sorry, I'm sorry. I just felt like I had to
Hmm.
say that.
No, they do change over time.